What is up, my veggies? My name is VTR, and welcome back to another movie review. And today we are reviewing Insidious Chapter 2. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into the synopsis, Sally. Soon after their slowdown with evil spirits that possess their son, the Lamberts are ready for their lives to return to normal. However, something is still seriously off, especially with Josh, who, unbeknown to Renee, is possessed too. In order to free Josh's soul and finally defeat the malevolent forces around them, Lorraine Amber and her ghost hunting friends investigate the past to save their family's future. Now, going into this film, I had extremely low expectations. Because, well, I can't say they were extremely low. I said I didn't have much. So I've always heard pretty decent things about the first one, but I don't know, never really heard anything about the second one. So my thoughts were just like, okay, hopefully this movie's all right. And as the movie starts, the first, like, I want to say like 45 minutes or the first half or whatever of this movie was not doing it for me. I was sitting there watching this movie being like, okay, this feels like it doesn't feel like a lot of time. It drags because like a lot of time goes by and it doesn't feel like a lot of time. Like okay, a lot hasn't happened, but also a lot has happened. But then at one point, at the midway point, is when I feel like the movie really starts picking up speed and really starts to get better. So the movie kind of has a very weak first half, and then the second half is kind of where it picks up. And this movie does some interesting things, tying it back to the first one, tying it back with just a few things you wouldn't think they would actually try to connect back to the sequel. But a lot of the twists and everything of this movie just aren't really. I don't really care for because they're not interesting. They don't do nothing grand with them. Some of the stuff that some of the new character they introduced, I kind of do like. That there's this new character they put into the this franchise that I like. And even though I forget her name, the lady from the last movie that died, even though she died, she does have appearances in this movie, so that's good. Because that is one of the best parts of the first film. And overall, I think the movie the acting I think is still pretty good. I think the acting in the movies, and also there's a scene that I did not expect with a young Jenna Ortega in this. I was like, whoa, this is even before freaking even before she appeared on Disney Channel, I think. So I was like, "Whoa, what the heck?" Seeing her there was a kind of a shock. But overall, there is them adding some new dynamics. Like Josh's mom in this one has a bigger role in the film, which I think is a really interesting way to take things. Even though like it takes it, like I said, you have the comedic little two ghost hunter guys. They're back in this one, and I think they actually made me chuckle a couple times this time around. So that was fun that they actually did an all right, decent job with that there. The horror aspect of the movie is like different, because it's kind of going based around a lot based on the stuff that's mentioned about Josh in the first film. It's kind of focuses a lot on that. Some stuff from the first movie, other stuff in the movie, like obviously with Dalton, that comes back. So that happened with Dalton kind of comes back at the end of the film, and everything. So that's interesting how well the movie brought some of the stuff over from the last movie into this one. And elaborate on, and there's something that happens at the beginning of the movie that when they connect it to, and they show like what this connects to the rest of the thing at the end is very interesting. I think they do that very well. I don't want to spoil this because I think you should check it out if you haven't seen it. But overall, I think this movie does a pretty decent job after that first half. Everything about the first half is just like kind of boring, not really doing much for me. That entire first half is just bleh. Like I don't really care about what's really going on that much and everything. It's not as interesting. It seems to be going through some more of the motions in the first movie. It's like, oh, this is like this again, and blah 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 blah. And it feels like it's going through the motions. Like, okay, this is like the checklist that an Insidious film needs to have. Here's a checklist. And personally, I just don't think the movie needed some of the stuff that we got in the first half. But like I said, pretty much everything in the second half is well done. Besides like some stuff, I was like, okay, this is okay and everything. There's a lot of it, just like everything feels. The movie feels like it has like I said, two different halves. Like the first half and the second half, I feel like completely different in quality. Like if I just would have sat down, like and like walked in on somebody watching this movie and then sat down and watched from the second half, I was like, oh, I imagine the rest of this movie is probably pretty good. But like if you sat down and just watched the first half and then walked away, you're like, wow, that movie is probably pretty bad. So it's definitely one of those movies where it's like you gotta know. It's kind of like I don't know, if like it is hard for a movie if a movie doesn't grab someone within like the first half, like a lot of people's like, oh, this movie sucks or anything like that. And I'd say if you get to the first half of this movie and think that like I did, I'd say continue watching, because the second half of the movie is a lot better. And like I said, I don't think this one's scary at all. There was some well-timed scares and stuff in the first one. I don't think this one has really any of that. I think it's more just interesting with the storytelling in the second half is where this movie's strong suit is. Like I said, a little bit of the comedy can be a little much sometimes, but I think some of it actually made me laugh. So with the two ghost hunter side characters, I think there is some parts where I'm like, okay, this feels so weird and like it's trying too hard to be funny. It definitely gets that vibe from time to time watching this movie with the comedy and everything. But overall, I think it's all right. Critics give this movie an 80, 38, 39 on Rotten Tomatoes, and critics give it a 50. No, critics give it a 39, and audiences give it a 57. Me personally, with the way I rate, I'm gonna go straight down the middle, because like half the movies, it's like I said, the first half is good, the first half isn't really good, the second half is. I'm gonna go straight down the middle with a 2.5, straight down the middle with this movie, because I feel like that's a solid place to put a solid rating for this movie. I don't know if the third film, because it is, I'm pretty sure like the third one is still called Chapter 3. Yeah, it's still called Chapter 3, and I don't know if this movie, and I'm not even gonna look in to see. I don't think the next movie even follows the same family, so it'll be interesting to see like this a different thing, because I feel like if they went with the third, I'll talk about that when I get to that movie and everything. But that's really all I've got to say for this review, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to see me got any other horror movies you'd like me to check out, let me know down in the comment section below. And I think that's really all I got to say for today's review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Links to all my stuff are down in the description. And I think that's everything. I will see each and every one of you guys in the next one. Bye.